I didn't decide to vote against the report and take out my name mainly because of what was inside the report, because I think that a lot of good things are still inside the report. The conditionality to the banks which receive money from taxpayers in order to have liquidity and having to be obliged at least to give to provide some of this money directly towards the economy and the funding of SMEs, for instance, transparency, public accountability, issues associated with recessive measures and their impact in the daily lives and in the public accounts. All these things, which are very positive, are still inside the report. The reason why I voted against is because the right wing, mainly the EPP, tabled amendments aiming to remove crucial parts of the report. And so at the end, what we have is a report which has no mention to the Troika, to the involvement of ECB in the Troika, to the need to have a kind of democratic assessment and evaluation of the ECB under the Troika. And also there's no reference to any country under adjustment program. And I think one of the most important things is one of the compromises which was agreed under the vote on Econ Committee, and we lost it here today, which was the one which condemns the profits that the ECB is gaining based on the bailout programs, and asked the ECB to make the redistribution, saying this to reduce in the public debts of those countries all the profits they are making in not a very reasonable way, I would say. So this was a key line because we have figures for the Greek case and we are about to have figures for the Portuguese case and the Irish case, and we are talking about a percentage of the people which we cannot ignore. Yes, I think there's a divide. There was a huge divide in the Econ Committee, and the vote is a clear example of this. And today there was also a divide. The vote was not unanimous in any of the groups who decided to vote for the report. And it has to do with the role of the ECB and mainly with the role of the Parliament. What is the role of the Parliament? Because if we cannot make any kind of assessment, suggestion, contribution, whatever, to the ECB role and action, so it means that the Parliament is absolutely useless in answering to the concerns and worries and expectations of the citizens who elected us. So there was a part of the Parliament who would prefer to have a report which in fact only reproduces what is in the ECB report already, in the ECB activity report. And more than that, even deleting parts which are included in the ECB activity report and were not accepted to be included in the Parliament report, like for instance the case of the Troika involvement. And the other part of the Parliament, for those who think that ECB is concentrating too much power. It's not only monetary policy, it's becoming more and more, and now we have also supervision. So, ECB is concentrating power, but the democratic control and the assessment of citizens is becoming less relevant, in the sense that all the decisions which are important to our lives are becoming more and more far away from citizens' daily decisions. And that's a key issue, because if we have one European institution which configures only one power with no type of accountability, proper accountability, with no type of control, and deciding in everything without any type of interference, we are talking about a dictatorship. And those who don't want to touch in the ECB activity are those who are defending, I would say, a dictatorship of the ECB in the Eurozone. But the question here is that the ECB has huge power, a lot of power, but is not a democratic elected institution yet. So we need to do our work. Another issue which divides us is the mandate of ECB. It seems in this House that when we criticize ECB, we are putting into question ECB's independence. But when we are making we are talking about nice words and just reinforcing all the good things that ECB does, we are not crossing the border of the independence. and this is a double standard, which is also a question in the issue of the mandate, because when we say the major problems that we are facing in Europe are lack of growth and unemployment, and when we say that we need to add to the stability price objective these two objectives, growth and employment, as objectives of the action of the ECB, some members of this House say, no, we cannot touch this, because this is under the mandate, we cannot touch the mandate. But at the same time are the same who approve totally the intervention of ECB under the Troika programs, and we have never ever voted for this mandate, for this extension of the mandate. And under the intervention of Troika programs, ECB is recommending fiscal policies, privatization policies, whatever, in the member states, which are totally out of the scope of its mandate. So again, a problem of double standards, and this is also a key dividing line.